Good morning. Today is a very important day on the farm. We are reading our TB test. We have currently been closed now for over a year. Last time we tested was back in the autumn. We had one cow which reacted to the skin test. So today I am very hopeful that we're going to get the first of two required clear tests. We need this to be a clear test. Like, really need this to be a clear test. Reading your TB test is always one of them days which is stressful, but also hopeful. You always think this is gonna be the one. This is the one we're going to get clear. And then you're not surprised when it doesn't happen. Over the next 4 hours, we could end up having no reactors, or we could end up losing 40 or 50 animals. The consequences of what's about to happen is really serious. Let's go get the cows into the crush before the vet arrives. At the end of this video, I definitely want to have a discussion around bovine TB here in Northern Ireland and help illustrate how insane the situation is. Any farmer who's watching this video is going to understand the basics of the TB test, but let me give you some actual facts about it. And I'll also give a quick summary for those of you who maybe haven't had to endure this ordeal. To test animals for TB, we use a skin reactor test. The vet injects our animals with avian tuberculosis and with bovine tuberculosis. If a cow has an immune reaction to the bovine TB, that means she has bovine TB. And the way we assess that reaction is comparing the size of the lump to the avian TB. And that's the basics of how we still in 2024 test animals for TB. Now that test has a very low false positive rate, about 0.1%, but it also misses a lot of positive animals, as much as 30%. And that's a big problem. So to counteract that problem, you need 2 clear tests before you're allowed to sell animals again. We currently have 0 clear tests. And because you need 2 clear tests, that reduces the risk that you're not going to pick up positive animals, but that is still a very substantial risk. A very common question from farmers is, why do we not have a better test? And the answer is, there is a better test for picking up positives, but it throws up about 30% false positives. That would be the blood test. And 30% false positives isn't exactly great either. You will get the opportunity to do a blood test here in Northern Ireland if you have TB over a long time, but as a farmer, something I'm very reluctant to do just because of the risk of them false positives. Come on, come on, come on, come on. The vet's just arrived, so I'm going to go get this TB testing done. Not going to video it because I'm going to be running about like a headless chicken for the next 4 hours. I will catch up with you this afternoon when we'll see how we got on and discuss TB in more detail. But before that, here's some footage from yesterday when we had to make the decision about whether we could spread slurry or not. We have officially got 0 days slurry storage left, which means that we have to spread some slurry today. But we have had 2 days of immense rainfall. It has now been dry for about 24 hours. The forecast looks great for the next week, not a drop of rain coming. But the issue is, we just can't even wait 1 day longer, which is really, really annoying when there's dry weather ahead of you. But we're going to find a field this morning which is okay to travel on. And this is our first stop. Let's see how dry it is before I come over here with the 2 slurry tankers. The frost has helped, but unfortunately, by the time we get over here in half an hour and start spreading, the frost will basically all be gone. And the news from underfoot is surprisingly good. This is like totally fine. I'm trying to judge if it's just the frost or if it's actually dry. And I think it's actually dry. Definitely a little bit squidgier when you get away from the frost. I think it'll be okay. Down here is the really wet bit, so we'll go check it out. I'm definitely not going to be driving in here anyway, but might give me a good sense of how dry everything has got. Yeah, that is very, very wet. Surface water wet. It's just awkward. It's just awkward. This field is good because it's flat and this side of the field is always dry. But I don't want to be starting fields and not finishing them. So let's go check another field, which has some hills, which might cause an issue. But if it was dry enough, At least I could do the whole field and finish it. Change of plan, I'm not going to go check any more fields. The fact that that half of the field was dry has given me enough confidence that I'm going to assume the other fields are dry enough as well. That's kind of dangerous, but I think it'll be okay. Okay, they've a load on for me. Let's go. Calvin's going to get another load on and he will be bringing it over to me. We boom all of our slurry. Every single gallon of it for the whole year goes through the field tanker, carted over by the boom tanker. Here we go, moment of truth. Was I right or am I going to get stuck? Please don't get stuck. I don't need that today. Four-wheel drive. Oh, I'm doing too much at once. Four-wheel drive. On. Drive into the field. What do we like? What do we like? What do we like? I think we're okay. We're not okay. Oh goodness, that's wet. That is way wetter than I thought. This is maybe not a good idea. Right, I need to recover this. I'll catch up with you after I finish this load. It's too wet. I nearly got stuck at the very end of the load. I don't know what to do, to be honest. Yeah, it's very, very wet. It's too wet. It's just too wet. Let's go check another field. That is not what you want. Definitely too wet. I think the firmness was just that layer of frost. It was -3 last night. And that will carry me, but it's not going to carry a slurry tanker. And we're just sort of getting through that frost to what it's actually like, and it's just too wet. The big tanker might be a minute before they're here because they were emptying a small tank before they filled the load. So hopefully that'll give me time to make a decision. Do you know what the worst thing is? The most annoying thing? The ground was all so dry at the end of January, but we couldn't spread because our government is a bunch of idiots. How does a slurry ban actually make sense? Like, oh my days. Is that just the frost I'm feeling, or is it actually drier? I don't know. Oh, this is such a tough choice. We'll walk all the way over here to the gate. Oh, that's squelchy. Oh, flip my life. This is not ideal. This is not ideal. I hate trying to find fields to get slurry on. You end up just missing bits and then have to come back to them and just, it's no good. I think this field is going to be the better option, to be honest. The problem again is this hill, you have to pull up, but there's also two really big wet bits in this field that we're definitely not going to go near. Like, you'd get stuck in the summertime in them wet bits. So we'll maybe just try and get a bit of this field done today instead. Nice upside about doing this field is it's probably pretty close to the top of the reseed list. So if we cause a bit of damage, probably matters less. I need to phone David and tell him about our change of plans, and I'll bring the wee tanker over here. I'll just walk along the road to get back since my socks are soaking because I wore boots. I've been walking now for like 3 minutes with the camera off, trying to figure out what... Oh my goodness, I nearly fell. Oh. I've been walking now for like 3 minutes. I think I've changed my mind again. I think I'm going to try and get half of the first field that we started done, even if I do leave a few tracks, and then move into the second field. I think that's the option. Slurry at the start of the year almost always sucks. This is now 3 years in a row where I reckon I should have probably spread slurry in January. But I don't do it because you're not allowed to do it and I don't want to be fined. But yeah, fields were bone dry 2 weeks ago. Like, I mean, it's so much rain over the last 2 days, which has just ruined everything for us. welcome back. I have an update for you. We managed to get 4 loadouts so far today, and we're going to keep going this afternoon and get some more done. Where's the handle I was looking for? So it went okay. The field was okay. We managed to get about 2/3 of the field done, didn't even go near the wet bit, and we got it all done. A little bit of a mess at one point. My wheels were spinning up a hill. If it hadn't been for that, I would have said it was passable, but I did make a little bit of a mess. But I think we're making the right decision. I think we need to push on and just get Slurry out onto the fields so we can move on next week to fertiliser. Let's go see how much is out of the tank that we were drawing out of this morning, and then we're going to move the pipe into another tank, take a load out of it, and then move the tank again later on to try and get everything down, because everything has literally reached the slats at exactly the same moment. There's the foam from earlier this morning, and now we have at least a week or two of storage. Let's go to the other tank. I have too much to do today. I still have like 4 cows to AI and I have no idea when I'm going to get that done. You can see the issue. That tank has now filled up to the slats again. And this tank is all foamy as well. So we are totally full. It's fine. We'll get this all sorted out today. And it will be drier and drier every day going forward. So we'll be able to get lots of slurry out. Pipes in. Let's go get the tanker. I just realised I have to go take a photo of myself. Today is one of them days where I'm just forgetting everything. I promised the man I would send him a headshot, like a photo of myself this morning, first thing. Totally forgot until now. So I'm going to have to go and do that as well. Sometimes I wish I was just a farmer and didn't do anything else. Didn't do tech, didn't do social media, didn't go and speak at things, didn't try and change the world for the better and tackle the woke climate nonsense. It makes me very busy a lot of the time. Let's try and get a thumbnail. What's going to work best? I think I need to be this side, don't I? Yeah, that's pretty good. Nice bright sunny day as well. Really helps the thumbnails. If the weather turns out like forecast, things will be very, very busy next week. But it will also be great to get a good start to all the spring work. Now I've just reversed into a hedge. Oh goodness. Right, I'm going to go take a photo of myself, email it to a man, and then I just realised I have to go and meet someone from the road service because they're fencing off land that we rent for a new road, which is really bad, but talk about that in a different video. And then we'll get back to doing some slurry, hopefully by 1:30, but that's way too ambitious. I've got some good news. We got a clear test. We're still a closed herd. That was our first clear test, so hopefully in about 6, 7, 8 weeks we'll get to do another test, and that one will be clear as well. And then we will finally be able to sell some animals again 17 months after we got closed. TB is such a pain. I'm now going to record a TikTok answering some questions about my milking parlour before lunch. Then I'll go get my lunch, edit that TikTok and post it, and I'll be back after lunch to get some slurry done. And then after that we'll have our chat about TB in Northern Ireland. So we have a slight change of plans again. I know, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place this week. David and my dad are going to do slurry this afternoon and I'm not doing slurry. Instead, I have some cows to AI. I have to go move a branch so they can get down a lane and into a field. And then we will have our chat about TB. This week's just been so disjointed. We had a red tractor inspection on Monday, and then our first day of TB testing took up all of Tuesday. And then Wednesday was too wet to do slurry like we had planned. We finally got some slurry out yesterday, but then we had the TB test this morning, which means we're only getting started again now at nearly 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's so hard to get anything meaningful done unless you have a decent block of time to do it. It's definitely one of the biggest challenges in farming, is getting stuff done when you're busy. Even next week is kind of a write-off, so I don't know when I'm going to get all this slurry done. Let's go lift this tree so they can actually get to the field which I want them to slurry. Okay, here we go. This is the problem branch. How am I going to get this down? Just doze it into the hedge, surely? I think that'll work. Sorry about the dirty window. I know I need to clean it. Just change down a gear, turn off smooth ride. Get over there. They're gonna just snap it off. There we go. That worked surprisingly well. I'm gonna restore the hedge. This is called restoration. Get in the hedge. Get, oh, for goodness sake. I change the plan, change the plan, change the plan. Change the plan. Just take it away from where it was. And now we drop it off. Perfect. I think we've done a good job. Have to now wait until that tanker leaves before I can get down the lane again. Which is a big relief because my microphone was in my pocket. I just recorded like 5 minutes of me chatting to the camera and it was in my pocket. Flip my life. You didn't miss much. Basically, the field's a lot drier than yesterday. We should get the whole thing spread without any issue. And they're going to keep going at it now until milking time, and then we'll start up again tomorrow and try and get that entire field finished off. And then by Monday, the rest of the fields will definitely be dry enough, as long as it doesn't rain, but it doesn't give rain. So our slurry issue is basically solved. We'll be able to get all the slurry done. And then the final thing I said before I realised my microphone was in my pocket was, let's head back to the farm, AI a cow, and have our chat about TV. I can't believe I've done that. Once I get this cow AI'd and get this video finished, I should have at least an hour and a half to do some computer work again. And that is honestly the first time that's happened in a long time. Also made a decision on the way home, which I wasn't videoing, which was that I want to do a proper day of slurry tomorrow. So I have Calvin coming back for a little bit of overtime. Me and him can start at 9 in the morning and we won't have to stop until 6 or 7 in the evening. It's the only way to get stuff done is if you have a big block of time and you just go at it. So it just wasn't going to work with me and my dad. He wouldn't have been finished up to 10:30 or 11 at best. And then we would have had to stop again at 3:30 for milking. And lunch in the middle of that, like, what are you going to get done? Nothing. So I'm very grateful to have Calvin coming to help me tomorrow. That's the sort of thing which makes all the difference. Having enough help to get stuff done. Okay, we're looking for 7887. And we'll get her in the headlocks and go get a beef straw. And she is standing in the headlock. There's that last black cow in this headlock. I could not ask for better. My day has taken a turn for the better. Actually, well, I have a clear TB test, so my day's very good already. Things are going very well. Let's go get our straw and let's have a chat about TB. And this is going to be from my head. I'm not going to be researching this with facts and figures. If I get something wrong, I apologise, but I'm fairly good at remembering numbers, so hopefully I won't get anything wrong. That actually reminds me of a joke I told my wife a few nights ago. Should I repeat it? Is it appropriate for YouTube? Does kind of make fun of sort of mental illness. Maybe not. If you want to know my joke, leave a comment and I'll reply to it with my joke. That won't work. It doesn't work with text. I'll tell you the joke and I can edit it out later if I think it's a bad idea. I don't know what HD means, but apparently my doctor says I have 80 of them. The TB problem in Northern Ireland is a perfect example of government failure. The eradication strategy started back in the 1950s and we almost had the disease gone by the 1970s. And then to save money, the Department of Agriculture decided to go down to once every 3-year testing. And that's when things got bad really quickly. And ever since the late 90s, early 2000s, TB has consistently been getting worse and worse. And that trend has only accelerated in recent years. So that currently over 1% of all animals tested for TB in Northern Ireland have the disease. Absolutely mental. So why is the problem getting worse and worse? And the honest answer is because no one wants to do what is needed to change that. Our politicians are weak and won't take action, and our civil servants are so overly cautious that they also won't take action. So we're in the situation where we're in, where it keeps getting worse and worse. Farmers keep losing thousands of animals. The government is spending £60 million a year on it, and no one is happy. It's such a mess at the minute in Northern Ireland that it's honestly almost hard to believe. My own journey with TB since I've been at home farming was closed for 3.5 years in one go, open for 7 years without any issues, and then closed for a year and a half, open for 7 months, and then closed for the last year. And the vast majority of farmers are in that cycle of opened, closed, open, closed. And whether they actually have got rid of all the TB when they get open again is definitely up for debate. Alright, let's get our beef straw. Now there's no point in just complaining about TB if you're not going to offer some solutions. So allow me to offer a solution. Everything possible needs to be done to get on top of this disease. We need to cull the badger population. That's the one that farmers will like. The measures that farmers won't like but are equally necessary include restrictions on cattle movement and sales and improved biosecurity through fencing, probably not taking animals far from your home farm, and limiting animals being restocked into herds that are positive. I understand they're going to be immensely unpopular, but that is kind of what is needed at this point to get on top of this disease. The veterinary industry here in Northern Ireland absolutely is making too much money out of TB, so that also needs to be addressed. And we do need better testing. Whether it's the people doing the testing or the test itself, something has to change around that. We basically need someone like an Elon Musk to come in, have complete authority, make tough decisions, have everyone hate him, but eventually the trend will change, TB will reduce, and farmers will realise how much money the disease was really costing them. Everyone needs to be angry and unhappy with the solution, because that is the solution that is likely to actually work. And this idea of tinkering here and tinkering there and setting up another committee to chat about it does not achieve results. It is literally that sort of thing which got us in this situation. TB really does suck. Really, really sucks. I could chat about TB all day, but let's leave it there. I got a clear test. That is really good news. And my fields are dry enough to actually get some slurry out, which is also really good news. So that's a good end to a pretty rough week. I'm going to go get this cow AI'd and then go and enjoy some computer programming time, which I have missed so much over the last few weeks. Thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a like. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. Apparently it helps. And if you have any comments, stick them down below. I do eventually get to them. I know I'm slow at the YouTube comments, but TikTok kind of just takes over a lot of that. So it's one of them things that I add to the bottom of a long list of things to do in a week. Thank you again. I will see you next week when I'll definitely be back in the field doing some fertilizer.